gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Dupuis. A drunken driver hijacked a police cruiser today, sparking a South Shore chase, and a new study shows roughly 25,000 empty apartments across the city. Expect heavy traffic on the main arteries, plus the summer market kicking off this weekend. Over to you, Ryan.
Victor announced 6 new draftees joining the team ahead of the upcoming season, expanding their roster significantly.
The club also confirmed re-signing Abby Roque on a 2-year contract, beginning with training camp next month.
The 6 newcomers comprise 2 forwards, 3 defenders, and a goalkeeper, all selected from local junior leagues this week.
All right, let's get into it, starting with today's headlines and the latest updates across the city. Good morning, Montreal. We'll start with the latest weather, a critical transit update, and the headlines shaping today's community and your plans. Yesterday, a heavily intoxicated man commandeered a Montreal police cruiser from a downtown precinct and fled the scene. Officers quickly identified the theft and launched a high-speed pursuit that crossed the island and continued onto the South Shore, where the suspect was finally stopped near the Jacques Cartier Bridge. The chase followed the Metropolitan Expressway and Auto Route 40, prompting a coordinated response from Island and South Shore units. The driver, whose identity has not yet been released, was arrested, and the police vehicle recovered with only minor damage. No injuries were reported among the officers involved or the public. SBVM officials said the incident underscores the risks officers face when responding to impaired driving incidents. The department is reviewing its protocols for securing vehicles after calls. The suspect now faces charges for vehicle theft, impaired driving, and dangerous conduct.
An analysis of electricity usage data supplied by Hydro-Quebec has revealed roughly 25,000 empty apartments across the island, according to a Radio-Canada report released today. The figures, derived from consumption patterns that show little to no power draw, point to a significant vacancy rate amid a housing market already strained by scarce supply and climbing rents. Landlords attribute the empty units to ongoing renovations, tenant turnover, and the need to upgrade interiors before re-leasing spaces. Housing advocates, however, argue that owners are holding units off the market to wait for higher rent levels or to sell properties at premium prices. Both sides dispute the motives behind the vacancies, intensifying a debate that pits property owners against groups calling for stronger rent controls and more transparent reporting. City officials have not yet commented on the study's implications.
City officials released today the latest annual financial statement, revealing that this winter was the costliest in 10 years. Snow removal, road salt, and heating for shelters pushed municipal expenditures to a new high, while fines collected from traffic and other violations hit a record level of revenue. The report also shows that the police force received more than $80 million in overtime pay, reflecting extensive deployments during the severe weather period. City leaders say the combination of heightened winter costs and the overtime surge accounts for the sharp rise in overall spending. The total municipal outlay for the fiscal year rose to a level not seen since the early 20s, driven largely by these winter-related expenses. City officials said they are reviewing overtime policies, but did not announce any specific actions at this time.
Antoine Dion-Charest secured the Quebec Liberal Party's nomination for the Verdun riding on Wednesday night. The ceremony took place at the party's local headquarters in Verdun, with former Premier Jean Charest and Antoine's mother among the attendees. His mother, who traveled from nearby Westmount, voiced confidence in his ability to represent Verdun's diverse neighborhoods. Party officials confirmed that the former premier's son will carry the Liberal banner in the upcoming provincial election. The nomination follows a series of candidate selections across the island as parties gear up for the fall campaign. Local supporters gathered to hear Antoine outline his priorities for the waterfront community, emphasizing public transit improvements and affordable housing. The Quebec Liberal Party said the choice reflects a blend of experience and fresh perspective for Verdun voters. Antoine Dion-Charest will now begin his campaign outreach throughout the borough.
Yesterday morning, the City of Montreal announced a new affordable housing initiative for the Rose Mon La Petite Patrie neighborhood. Mayor Soria Martinez Ferrada, together with the Société de Développement Angus, confirmed a commitment of $25,110,800 to create 350 new units. The funding will support construction of mixed-income buildings aimed at families and individuals who struggle to find rent that fits their budget. Officials said the project will tap existing land parcels and partner with local nonprofit groups to move the plan forward within the next few years. The city hopes the new homes will help ease the pressure on the rental market and provide more options for residents seeking stable, affordable living spaces in the area. City officials expect construction to begin by early next year, creating jobs for local tradespeople. Later, we'll see how Quebec's $12.5 million for homelessness and $5 million for Montreal could reshape our streets. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad you're still with us. Here's the latest headlines, and now Ryan Mercer will bring you today's local stories.
Good morning. Quebec's Social Solidarity Minister Chantal Rouleau announced a province-wide funding package aimed at tackling homelessness and its root causes. The government is committing $12.5 million in total, with $5 million earmarked for initiatives here in Montreal. Less than $1 million will be distributed to other regions across the province. The allocation arrives as part of a broader effort to strengthen social solidarity and address the growing number of people without stable housing. Officials say the money will support emergency shelters, affordable housing projects, and preventive services designed to keep families from falling into homelessness. Montreal residents can expect new resources to be directed toward local organizations working on these issues, while the province continues to expand its financial commitment to the crisis. The announcement was made on June 18th, signaling a decisive step forward.
Business leaders in downtown are advancing a proposal to repurpose a current development into a headquarters for the Defense, Security and Resilience Bank. The plan, set for discussion on June 18th, aims to position the city as the preferred host for the new federal financial institution. Officials say the bank would bring specialized services for defense and emergency sectors, and supporters argue the presence could boost local expertise and attract related firms. Initiative follows a broader competition among several municipalities to secure the institution's home base. If approved, the converted site would join existing office towers, adding a distinctive federal component to the downtown skyline. Stakeholders expect the project to create construction jobs in the short term and a range of professional opportunities once the bank becomes operational. The effort reflects a broader desire to keep the city at the forefront of national security finance.
The Montreal Victoire have bolstered their roster with 6 new players from the recent PWHL draft, securing Finland forward Petra Niemanen among the fresh faces. The selections were made with the final pick in the draft, giving the club an opportunity to add depth across the lines. In addition, the team announced the re-signing of forward Abby Roque to a 2-year contract, keeping a key contributor for the upcoming season. Management said the combined influx of talent and continuity will help the Victoire stay competitive as the league heads toward the new campaign. Fans can look forward to seeing how the new draftees blend with Roque's experience on the ice as the club prepares for training camp later this summer. Local supporters are eager to fill the stands and cheer the expanded lineup when the season kicks off in October.
Elizabeth Desrosiers-MacArthur will take the water this July for her first World Cup canoe sprint, right here in her hometown. The Montreal-born athlete, who has been training on the St. Lawrence for years, is set to line up against the world's top paddlers at the newly upgraded Olympic Basin. Fans can expect to see her in the single kayak, racing over 500 meters, a distance she's mastered in national qualifiers. Organizers say the event will draw thousands of spectators, offering a chance for local families to watch elite sport without leaving the city. Desrosiers-MacArthur's participation marks a return to international competition after several seasons focused on development programs. The competition runs over 3 days, and her performance will be closely followed by the Canadian Canoe Federation. Morning commuters may spot her training on the river early, adding a splash of excitement to their routes.
The Samuel de Champlain Bridge will be closed to all vehicles this weekend, from Friday night through Sunday, as crews perform essential maintenance. The shutdown affects the main artery that carries commuters across the St. Lawrence River to the South Shore, meaning drivers will need to seek alternative routes such as the Champlain or Victoria bridges. Traffic officials warn of longer travel times and advise motorists to allow extra time for work, school, and appointments. Public transit services are expected to see higher demand, with the commuter rail line to the South Shore operating on its regular schedule. Emergency responders have confirmed that the closure will not impact ambulance or fire routes, which will use designated detours. Residents planning errands or weekend outings should check real-time traffic updates before departing. Congestion on the Champlain and Victoria crossings is expected to rise, so allowing additional time is prudent.
Now let's check the morning forecast with our weather team, right after this. A gentle start to your morning as we glance at Montreal's sky and what lies ahead today. On this day, the city's record high reached 33.7 Celsius back in 2024. A brief spike during an early summer heat wave that pushed temperatures well above the usual June norm of around 22 Celsius. The record low, a crisp 8.7 Celsius, was set in 2022 when an unusually cold snap slipped through the province, reminding us how quickly the weather can flip. Both extremes stand out against the comfortable averages we normally enjoy this time of year. It's 7 a.m. and the sky over Montreal is overcast with a temperature of 16 Celsius. Humidity sits at 87%, and a gentle breeze of 7 kilometers per hour drifts from the west. As the morning progresses, clouds will linger, keeping the temperature steady around 17 Celsius through midday and climbing just a degree to 18 by mid-afternoon. The high will reach 20 Celsius and the low will dip back to 16 as night falls. The UV index remains low at 3, so no special sun protection is needed. Winds will pick up to a maximum of 37 kilometers per hour from the south, feeling brisk but manageable. No rain is expected until a light shower near 7 p.m., and there are no active weather alerts. Let's now look ahead to the coming days. Looking at the 5-day stretch, Friday will bring a high of 19 Celsius and a low of 15, with overcast skies and a 35% chance of rain. Saturday stays cool with a high of 20 and a low of 14, but clouds thicken and the rain probability climbs to 65%, so a waterproof jacket might be wise. Sunday sees a gentle rise to 21 Celsius at its peak and 15 at night, while the chance of rain sits at 55%. Monday offers the warmest day yet at 22 Celsius, low 16, and a reduced rain risk of 25%. Finally, Tuesday nudges the high to 23 and the low to 16, with a 30% chance of showers. Expect mostly cloudy conditions throughout and enjoy the gradual warming. Up next, heavy traffic on our routes, the summer market and food festival, plus La Nadia Bar's reopening. We will be right back. Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Montreal de Carré interchange is the biggest holdup this morning. The 40 East to a 15 South link is jammed, with stop-and-go spilling onto Des Carré and into the Des Carré-St. Laurent corridor. Expect at least 20 minutes delay heading downtown or toward the South Shore. The Laurentides interchange is also gridlocked. Both main lanes and the service lane report major slowdowns, adding 15 minutes for northbound commuters. Pont Clement is under a hindrance, backing up traffic on Rue Notre Dame and nearby bridge approaches. East side drivers should expect another 10 minutes delay. On Autoroute des Carrés, the stretch between the Des Carrés interchange and Rue Jean Talon is blocked, worsening west side congestion. The Isabella to Côte Saint-Luc corridor also slows, so West End residents should seek alternate routes. Minor slowdowns continue on Autoroute Métropolitaine near Boulevard Lacordaire, on Des Carrés between Rue Saint-Arbrook and Kemin Queen Mary, and on Autoroute 520. Construction on Route Saint 16 between Saint Bruno de Monterville and Longueuil and the Autoroute 3140 interchange in Lavaltrie will affect traffic later today.
Montreal Summer Market and Food Festival opens at Place des Festivals today, a 3-day outdoor market of street eats, artisan stalls and live music, perfect for a quick bite before work. Sample local flavors from poutine to fresh berries. Across downtown, Franco's de Montreal lights up dozens of venues with over 150 French-language performances, many free, giving you new songs on your commute. The lineup ranges from indie pop to classic chanson. family-friendly vibes flow along the Lachin Canal at Festival sur le Canal, where musicians play on the esplanade, and a VIP terrace offers a quieter picnic spot. Kids can enjoy interactive art stations. Later this week, Festival Juicif at La Livery and Usinc brings a queer-focused ball, workshops, and an erotic market that sparks conversation. Tickets also grant access to an immersive literature space for quiet reflection. And now here's Tyler with sports.
A quieter sports board today, with no fresh local team update from RSS. A double trophy haul for the Canadians. Captain Nick Suzuki took home the Frank J. Selk Trophy, while Cole Caulfield was awarded the Lady Byng Trophy. The NHL announced both honors on Friday, according to CBC Sports. 2 awards, 1 team, a strong statement for Montreal's core. The PWHL has revealed the selection order for its 2026 draft, according to Sportsnet. The announcement came 2 days before the draft itself, giving teams and fans a clearer picture of how the day will unfold. Details on which team holds which pick have not yet been specified in the report. The Canadiens' playoff run is over. Carolina's Logan Stankoven scored one of 3 first-period goals in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final, and the Hurricanes eliminated Montreal, advancing to the Stanley Cup Final. That report comes from CBC Sports.
La Nadia, the women's sports bar on Rue Saint-Claude in Auchelay-HGA, is throwing its doors open again, this time with a brand-new outdoor patio. After a brief closure for renovations, the space now welcomes fans to watch soccer, hockey and basketball on big screens while sipping locally sourced drinks. The reopening brings a dedicated gathering spot for women athletes and supporters, reinforcing the neighborhood's reputation for inclusive community hubs. Neighbors are already planning watch parties, and the fresh terrace is drawing pedestrians onto the street, boosting foot traffic for nearby cafes. In a city that celebrates diversity, La Nadia reminds us that everyone deserves a place to cheer together. The bar also partners with local women's soccer clubs, offering discounted game nights that nurture emerging talent. Stay tuned for a feel-good story as La Nadia, the women's sports bar in Auchelay-HGA, throws open its doors again.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on gmna for the local Sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
On a breezy Saturday morning at the historic Place des Arts, the Francos de Montreal Festival gathered a sea of smiling faces beneath a sky that kept changing its mind. Local rap duo Corias and Loud stepped onto the stage, microphones in hand, as a sudden gust rattled the banners and a light drizzle threatened to mute the crowd. Undeterred, they lifted their heads, and the first beat dropped like a warm pulse through the air. The rhythm of their verses, spontaneous, witty, and rooted in the city's streets, caught the wind and turned it into a chorus of cheers. A young girl in a bright red hoodie raised her hands, her smile widening as the rain turned to a gentle mist, and the audience responded with a wave of applause that seemed to push the clouds back. By the time the final chorus faded, the weather had softened, leaving a fresh scent of rain on the cobblestones and a feeling that the music had warmed the whole neighborhood. The moment reminded us that community thrives when we keep moving together, rain or shine.
On a crisp Saturday morning on Notre Dame East, the scent of fresh coffee mingles with the buzz of bicycles as the street prepares for the UCI Road World Championships. Mayor Ferrata stood beside a cluster of colorful community tents that have become a fixture for local youth programs, artisans, and senior garden clubs. While the race route will thread through the same avenue, the mayor announced that the beloved camps will stay exactly where they are, a decision that sparked cheers from families gathered on folding chairs. One mother described how her daughter's first brush with cycling came from watching riders zip past the lane, turning a simple ride into a lifelong passion. The mayor's promise means the neighborhood's rhythm of music, shared meals, and spontaneous art displays will continue uninterrupted, even as elite athletes thunder by. Local baker Pierre Leclerc set out fresh croissants on a portable table, sharing them with cyclists and spectators alike, while a group of teenagers painted bright murals on temporary walls, turning the street into a living gallery. It's a reminder that a community's heart can stay steady amid the excitement of the world.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunrise. Tonight's wild chase, when an intoxicated man stole a police car and led officers on a South Shore pursuit, reminded us how quickly the unexpected can unfold. We appreciate your trust, and we'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter.